Porn Stars and People podcast. I'm Dan Frigolette. I'm here with Goddess Lilith.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing the episode. Thank you for doing the podcast. We're here at Exxxotica.
Absolutely.
What's going on with you?
Just hanging out, man. Had another good foot worship session a little bit earlier.
Very cool.
With Jason from Bratty Foot Girls.
Very cool. Shout out them.
Shout outs. Jason, seeing lots of awesome people here this weekend.
Yeah.
I love these events because it's just like you get to see all your friends from all over the world that you never get to see normally.
I was for a year and change when I started the podcast. I was like, I didn't feel, it was my own shit, but I didn't feel like I was in the community. So like I was like walking around shy. This is the first time where I was like, I like see someone I'm like, and I finally feel good and like participating in the thing.
Nice.
But yeah, it was my own job. But it's like, yeah, this is just this community of people, especially people that are like web based. It's hard to get you guys together because you can work from anywhere. It is
like we live all over the country and the world, so these events are really nice to bring everybody together.
So that's cool. So what's like, I don't know, is there any takeaways from this weekend? Like anything you learned, anything that is different?
I mean, I got to do a lot of really good networking, and I got to just kind of hang out with some other people that I hadn't gotten the chance to meet yet. I met some really lovely other dominant women here. Yeah. So, you know, there's not a whole lot of femdoms at these events usually, so it's really nice to meet the few of them that there are.
Yeah.
I just had a great time, you know. It blew by. I can't believe it's already Sunday.
Yeah. It really, the thing, I mean, it's 3 days, so you think it's like, you think it's a lot, but it really does fly. Like, even the first day, like, kind of blew by, and it was like, and all the time is filled up. Like, there's all these things you think you're going to do, and then it's like, and then it's 3 a.m. on Friday, and you're like, oh, shit, this one day's gone.
Well, another thing that's been nice, that's been happening this weekend for me is I've had a lot of fans actually come up to me here.
Great.
And maybe it's because I'm on the East Coast myself. I'm a New England person, so it might be because New Jersey isn't too far from New England.
This is the only one. This is the only East Coast convention.
Yeah.
So it's like.
So I've had a whole bunch of fans come up to me this weekend, and it's been awesome. One of them just took me shopping. I was like, fuck yeah.
That's great.
Yes. So having a really good time. An unexpectedly, like, awesome time, actually.
Yeah.
I just figured, you know, it's just another show, like, whatever. But this one has been really good.
Yeah, people love this one. And I was just so lucky. Starting this podcast, I found out almost immediately that people are not in this part of the country doing this profession for the most part. There's not a lot, and there's not as much work here.
Right.
So then I've had to fly places to do them. But then I realized right in my backyard is this incredible convention.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. This is
chill.
kind of one of my stops, like, every year now. It's one that I always do because it's only about like a 4 or 5 hour drive depending on the traffic.
It's
so
totally easy,
it's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah. What are the other places that you definitely go every year?
AVN for sure. Are you going to be at AVN this year?
I'm going to be at AVN. Yeah. Finally.
Nice.
Last year, and this is probably more due to me being uninformed. But last year they gave me passes like a week before.
That's weird.
Yeah, so I was like, what the heck, whatever.
That doesn't give you much time to plan.
Right, and then this year, I already got the passes. I got them like 2 weeks ago, so I'm like, I'm in there.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, so AVN's always good. I believe I'm doing XBiz this year. I haven't been doing that one every year, but I try to do the Chicago Exxxotica as well, and then there's one later in the year, Montreal Fetish Weekend, which is more of like a
what's it called?
Party.
Montreal Fetish Weekend?
Montreal Fetish Weekend.
Oh, wow.
Yep. It's like a 4 or 5 day kind of party where everybody just dresses to the nines and parties, and there's a dungeon, and it's kinky. Labor Day weekend.
Oh, wow.
So a little bit later in the year, get some time to plan.
I'm going to have to put that on the calendar.
It's right after FetCon, which is the other one that I do.
Yeah, I was actually like almost in Montreal around that time.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize I missed something great by like a couple days.
Yeah, well, now you know it's always Labor Day weekend.
Yeah,
so if you just Google it, you'll find it. It's a really, really fun event.
Fantastic.
Lots of beautiful people there.
That's really cool.
Shout outs to Montreal Fetish Weekend.
Shout out to Montreal Fetish.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to meet Ariel Rebel in Montreal. She's a great performer, and she's based out of there. So there really is a thriving porn industry in Montreal, which I thought was
there's
cool.
a lot going on in Montreal. It's a great place. I love it.
It's weird. It is weird that there's like little pockets where the things are, like, you know, like with Tampa and like that area
Tampa's got a huge scene now. They've also, incidentally, both of these cities also have a really good metal scene in Montreal and Tampa.
That's your other thing. You're into metal.
Yep, metal is important for me since I'm a singer.
So you said you sing in a metal band? Or
I
this
sing
is
in a
just-
metal band.
You do?
Yep. It's called Sorrow Seed. We've done a few U.S. tours. We've done some shows in Canada, and we recently did our first UK show in London last month at London Fetish Weekend.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, we get around a little bit. We've got 3 albums out. If you guys are into death metal at all, I have some pretty vocals in there too. I do melodic death metal, so it's like 80% harsh screaming and then 20% like nice singing. So check out Sorrow Seed. One word, Sorrow Seed.
I would say, like, I don't have the frame of reference to understand heavy metal. Like, as an outsider, what would you tell somebody to, like, encourage them to check out that genre?
I would say that firstly, there's a lot of different genres in metal.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to listen to the kind of metal that's like all screaming vocals.
Yeah.
There's also really heavy music that has singing vocals as well, like, symphonic metal, for example, some symphonic metal. And there's a whole bunch of other genres as well. Like the genre that I'm in is like melodic death, you would call it, or blackened melodic death. So it's all about kind of finding the right genre for you.
Yeah.
If you are into that style of music, but you don't really like harsh screaming vocals, like you could grab an instrumental CD from some bands or find like a symphonic band and you can listen to really pretty vocals but also have that heavy music.
Yeah.
But, personally, my recommendation for listening to metal is at the gym or when you're like traveling and there's screaming children around. It's a really, really good way to drown it out.
That's
because
funny.
I get really aggravated on a plane when people are not disciplining their children and they're just screaming in your ear.
Yeah.
So put on the headphones and blast some like Cannibal Corpse or something and you're not going to hear that baby anymore.
Airplane etiquette is something that really needs to be discussed. Last time I flew and I had one of these long flights, there kept being this thing where the guy behind me kept tapping me on the shoulder.
What?
For the guy, so that it was like I think I was in a window, and then the guy behind me who was in the center seat, because he was talking to the guy in the window, kept tapping on me and like telling me things like, "Oh, can you like move your seat forward?" and stuff like that. And it's like, bro, I got the same seat as you do. Like, no.
Oh
like,
my
and
God.
then I think he like tapped me on the shoulder and like asked me to like put it up when they were like eating, and I was like, what's going on?
Like, shut up, dude. Leave me alone.
Yeah, it's also like the generally speaking, that thing, what do they call it? The thing that drops down? Tray table.
Yes.
It's not actually attached to the back of the seat. It's just clipped in. So it's like it's on its own rollers. So it doesn't matter where the seat is.
What airline was that?
Oh, yeah, I don't know if it's the airline's fault, but I don't know. I don't know which one. So we got, do you know Daryl and Kimmy Kaboom?
No, I don't.
They're so cool. They're doing this show with us.
Nice.
I started convincing porn stars to do comedy.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so
there's probably a treasure trove there, man.
Yeah.
All kinds of stories.
Yeah.
As a dom, actually, I have a fair amount of really simultaneously fucked up but funny stories that I feel like I should like write a blog or something about.
Do you know Brandon Arena and Vicky Vix?
I do know Vicky Vix and Brendan, yes.
We had them do it when we were down for XBiz. We had them do a show with us.
Okay, yeah,
so
those two are
I'm slowly gonna
fun.
start putting this in people's minds to like, hey, you should do the show.
I mean, there's just so much you could talk about. Adult performers deal with so much craziness. Like most people have no idea the kinds of things that go on behind the scenes.
Yeah,
and
well, especially in your particular like field. Like we had Raquel Roper, and she had all like we had to take we're running out of time. We got to take the mic from you because she was like crushing it so hard.
I could go on. I've been in this industry for about 10 years now, so I have like a lengthy amount of stories that I could fill some time or some pages with. Yeah. So I think it's something that's going to happen in the future for sure.
Well, and the thing that I love about speaking with people in industry is that everybody's so sex positive and like they understand sexuality and consent and spectrum and all these things that I think we're repressing in like normal culture.
I agree with you. Actually, seasoned fetish players are some of the more polite, like well-adjusted individuals that I know because they're kind of channeling their energy and what they need to get out through this play. And a lot of regular people just go to bed frustrated for
Right.
various reasons, and they take it out on people, and
For sure, yeah,
you know,
there's
they let
that.
it fester instead of just channeling through it and getting it out in a healthy manner.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love the BDSM scene for that reason. It's super safe, generally. I mean, you always get, like, the bad egg here or there. Like, somebody might try to, like, slip something in somebody's drink. That happens everywhere. But other than that, everyone is so polite and respectful.
Yeah.
If I go to a BDSM club, I know that my space is going to be respected and no
Right.
one's going to try to touch up on me. If I go to a hip-hop club, forget it.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be dudes, like, dry humping me in a
Yeah.
matter of
Yeah,
moments.
I'd say the amount of times that I used to go to like those clubs, I was getting my dick grabbed, and it's like, you know, I'm young, and it's like, oh, this is exciting. People grab my dick, but then
Yeah.
like in my 30s, like I don't want anybody to
You're
grab my
like,
dick.
wait, suddenly I don't like this so much.
Yeah,
What the
well,
fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
Who are you?
like my dick needs to be ready for a grab. You can't just grab. Like I could, you know, I could be having apprehensive dick. You don't know. Like my dick is changing sizes throughout the day. I don't want you grabbing like
At the wrong time.
Yeah, I don't want you grabbing shy dick. I want notice, you know, and it's just
I
like,
mean, it's kind of good to hear from a guy though that you've gotten grabbed at clubs
Yeah.
too. Though I assumed that was
And
a
on the
thing that just happened to
subway.
women.
that's
Really?
when it was my third year in New York City, and somebody like started like sort of like slow. We were so, it was like a packed in car. Like you
Oh
had to-
my
and
gosh,
somebody
you didn't
started
even
just
know who it
rubbing- Yeah,
was?
somebody started rubbing like the seam.
Oh
And I was
shit.
like, oh, maybe it's like this is a confusion. So then I turned. I just did like a drastic 45-degree turn, and then I felt the hand like a spider, like snake,
Oh
like
my god.
trying to find it again.
That's
and then
so
was like, and
weird.
I was like, what the fuck?
Holy shit.
And then, but then it was an interesting position to be put in. I don't want to compare what I experienced to anybody else's experience. I don't want to say it's the same as this, that, or the other thing. But it had that moment for me where I was like, what are my options here? Like, I grab this person and like confront them.
Hey,
Like-
why are you grabbing my dick?
Right? Yeah. Like do I pull the arm like it's like a
That's
piece
so
of rope
bizarre.
and find out who's on the end of it?
Oh, man.
And instead I just quietly I basically like quietly just stood in the thing and like waited until the doors opened and ran away.
I guess you can take it as a compliment.
Yeah, but again, it's like
But,
it
you know,
speaks to
it's not
consent and like
pretty creepy.
and where we are right now as a society, that we're finally starting to deal with this discussion.
Yeah.
With everything in the news and everything that's going on, it's like we really need to have a very specific discussion about lines, and then I guess what you're supposed to do, and then you know, and then as the person being groped, you know, how to react.
Yeah, people need to just have better manners in general, but like I said, I'm glad to hear from a male perspective for once, because you always hear about how women get harassed all the time. So
Yeah.
it's good to know that it does go both ways sometimes.
And again, I'm not comparing mine on the level. I mean, I got like a little feathery touch. And there, there's some foul shit going on out there.
Yeah, there is.
So what do you hang in New York? I mean, you're not far. So
No, I actually despise New York City. I tried not to ever go there.
Oh,
True
I
facts.
didn't even get to the question. You're like, fuck New York, fuck this, fuck hot dogs, fuck the Statue of Liberty.
Honestly, so I did a photo shoot this morning in Brooklyn. Brooklyn
did?
is the one place in New York that I like. I like
Yeah.
Coney Island, and I like the Brooklyn area. It's kind of cool, industrial looking. But
Right.
all the gigs I end up getting are usually in Manhattan. So that's been my experience of New York kind of since I've known it as a teenager, and
Yeah.
just it's so fucking big and crowded and dirty. The piles of garbage
Okay.
everywhere are really
Yeah.
off-putting, and people are fucking rude. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm from Providence, but originally I grew up in Boston, and people there are even worse. Like, they're
Right.
even more fucking rude.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that the Northeast in general has, like, the two larger cities in it, like,
Yeah.
people are just real fucking rude and,
So
like
there's a couple
cold
things
and
happening.
salty.
Yeah, there's like an energy of like, I'm
Get
doing
out of my
own
way.
thing. Don't interfere with that.
Right. Get the fuck out of my way.
But then there's something nice about like everybody's minding their own business.
That's true.
right.
And in Boston, people tend to get in your face.
Yeah.
Especially me as a female traveling alone and looking like, you
Yeah,
know,
right.
different.
Sure.
You know, I get a lot of unwanted attention, and then people will try to engage with me. Whereas New York, people don't try to fucking engage with me. They
Well,
just
it's
do
New
their
York,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's not the
So,
weirdest
so
thing
it
I've seen
actually,
today.
I think Boston is probably a bit worse than New York City. You know.
And
in those
Boston
regards.
has like a fight culture that still exists.
Oh, people are extremely aggressive
Yeah.
in Boston. Like
in Boston, it was like, especially for a long time, and it used to be like this in New York, but it's changed a lot. It was, do you have a problem? Okay, let's go handle it. And like those were like the I want to fight you words. And New York had that for a while, but New York, I haven't seen a fist fight in New York in years. And not to say that it doesn't happen, but it's not the same mentality that used to be like, hold your ground. If something goes wrong, you got to immediately fight.
Yeah.
Now it's very much like, okay, I'll just walk away.
People in Boston are looking for a fight. I used to
Yeah.
be one of those people myself. I was a very angry person,
Did you
and
fight
I didn't
people?
realize until I started. Yeah, I got in a few fights.
What? Okay,
Not
so
gonna
what,
lie.
What are your fight numbers? How many
My
fights
fight
you been in?
numbers?
How many have you won? How many lost? How many
I've been in
draws?
3 and I won all of
How
them.
many
I mean,
submissions?
I'm a dom by nature, you
Yeah.
know. So like, I don't play like if you get me to the point where I'm angry enough to hit you, like I'm unleashing all of my pent up rage for the last months on you.
Right.
So but yeah, like I never really realized that it was my environment that was partially
Right.
causing all of that until I got away from it, and I was like, wow. I'm so much happier being outside of Boston, and
Yeah.
like life can be different. You know, I started traveling, going to places like Florida, and the Caribbean, the UK, like Europe, you know, and I'm just, wow, you don't have to like be so angry all the time. There is an alternative. Like life can be different, and that's when
Right.
I moved out of Boston. I live in Providence now, and I am so much happier.
It's Providence, such a cute place.
It is. It's a cute little city, and it's actually really, really decadent.
Yeah.
There's a really
A lot of
happening nightlife scene there,
Yeah.
alternative nightlife. There's a lot of, I mean, you know, pick your poison. You've got tons of fetish clubs, or maybe you'd rather just go to the strip club, or you've also got swingers clubs.
I like how your mind works. You say pick your poison, I go, oh, they're doing meth? Is that what you say? And you go, no, like this is swinger. He's like, I like that.
I mean, there's plenty of drugs down there too, but you know.
if you want meth,
There's
you gotta
lots
come to
of different
Providence.
choices. Lots of different choices in Little Rhodey. But everybody's so much nicer and more laid back, and the fact that it's a smaller city, people are more, you know, just more chill. And
you know what I find in a smaller city, it feels to people that there are consequences to their actions. In a big city like New York, like you can argue with somebody at Starbucks, and you're never gonna see that person again, right? Whereas like if you like go to a place in Providence, and that's a pretty big place as well. But like if you live in a small town, like you can't just go around like a crazy person. You actually have to be like, you'll get run out of the town. But I do agree with you on a lot of things. I'm finally to the point in my life where it's like I understand immediately people's energy, and if you put the wrong energy around you, like that just affects your whole thing. It's like it's like if you're hanging out with somebody and like one of their initial reactions to life is like ugh, then you're like, okay, I gotta not be around this person.
Right. Yep.
Because it's gonna poison me.
Yep. It's all about keeping the right people around you, keeping up the positive vibes. You know, there's some saying like lions aren't concerned with the opinions of sheep.
Oh yeah.
You
I've never heard
know,
that one,
because it's like, and then it's just like you're like, yeah, what do I need to be hanging around with a bunch of sheep, aka like normal 9 to 5 kind of people? Like, yes.
The normies.
You know, like, hey man, some people have different goals in life. Some people want to work a regular job, have kids, have the house, have the car, all that. Like, I'll take all of those things except for like I'm child free, so that kind of is one of the things that dictates my life.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that have children are like, well, how do you get to do all the things that you do? And like, how do you get to do this? And I'm like, it's easy. I don't have kids.
Because I'm owning my life. No,
yes.
I will say, no, I don't have kids, but I will stand up for people that have kids. You can still live a happy life and do what you want to do if you have kids. But this is the second time unprompted that you've bashed children, which I think is amazing. Yeah. Fuck kids, man. Fuck your kids. Don't bring your kids on a plane.
Keep your fucking kids away from me.
So funny.
I will eat them.
I will eat your children. Me and Mike Tyson will eat your children. That's so funny. Yeah, unprompted. Just having kids. Just so gross.
I know. I guess everybody shows their true colors after we've already been talking for like 15 minutes or so. So
we know
starting to see some patterns.
Kids, baby. We know where you stand. It's fine. We got all of our opinion on the thing. I had this debate with somebody the other day. It's like I can't be too pro or anti anything. It's like it just depends on the situation. People ask me like, oh, what kind of relationship are you looking for? That's like the constant question I get in my dating life. It's like I don't know. We need to discuss it. It's not like, oh, if I want this and you want that, then it's over. It's like, no, we need to figure it out together what our thing would look like, because it wouldn't look the same as yours. And it's the same thing with I met this guy in the middle of nowhere. he was getting a divorce. He had all these kids, and he sort of at one point in his life he just decided he wanted to have kids, and he just found a lady. They had kids, and then now he's getting divorced.
Just like that.
And so now the kids are 16 and 17, and they like did the thing, but arguably he's not happier for it. And he was like asking me about kids, and I was like, I would love to have kids, but it would have to be the exact right situation. I'm not just gonna meet somebody and then force kids into the world.
Yeah, that's fucked up. That's
because
not a good plan.
It's not gonna end up better for any of us, you know?
Yeah, not a good plan.
Sorry, I just did a kid rant for a while. You did yours, I did mine. Well, so wait, let's talk about where you're at. Let's big up your thing, because you're at the Clips for Sale. Is this where you?
Clips for Sale
Is this
today.
where you sell most of your? Is this where you make most of your money? Is this how?
I do tend to hang out here for the most part. I do offer little mini sessions here at the booth, mostly like foot domination kind of stuff.
Okay.
So I've been pretty busy with that over the weekend, and
but then career-wise, is Clips for Sale a big part of your commerce? And such?
Definitely. I mean, I kind of have my fingers in a lot of pies, because as an entrepreneur, you need to make your product, which is, for me, it's videos and audio recordings and also in-person sessions. So I need to be on kind of all of the different outlets. So some people are really exclusive to one site. I don't like to put all my eggs in one basket, because what if something happens to that site or the customer's on it, kind of thing. So, we're here at Exxxotica, and I'm looking at, My Free Cams, which is the major sponsor, Chatterbait, Cam4. I'm part of like all of those sites as well.
Nice.
Clips for Sale is one of many video sites that I'm on. I'm also on many vids, and I want clips. And so that's kind of, I've got, like I said, I've got my fingers in a lot of different things.
Yeah, I like, you have all these idioms that I don't really know. Like, I got my fingers in a lot of pies. I got my eggs in a bunch of baskets.
You never heard that before?
No, I was never good at idioms. I always fuck them up.
You know what? I'm becoming better at things like this the more time I socialize.
Yeah.
I'm a very,
people use them so much.
They do, yeah.
I hear them and I go, I don't really know what that means, so I don't use it. And so sometimes I commit to using one that I don't know, and then I start it, and then I have to finish it with something else. I remember distinctly being in an interview, and I wanted to do the one about red tape. And I couldn't think of what it was.
Okay.
I said, yeah. So there's
I've never used that one.
I said something about, so I said blue tape. And the lady, because she was like an HR lady, she couldn't handle anybody making a mistake around her. I learned so much from her in that moment. She goes, yeah, red tape. And then she just asked the next question. And I was like, well, I'm not getting this job. Yeah, it was so funny.
Wow.
But I'm so terrible at idioms. I can't figure it out.
I'm kind of like so believe it or not, I'm actually like an introvert, and these things are like really like energy consuming for me.
Sure.
And when I'm at home, I spend a lot of time by myself in front of my computer. I don't socialize a whole lot.
Right.
So like, I'm just now starting to learn how to use some of these phrases myself by putting myself in social situations.
Right.
I'm like, I'm usually like pretty shy. If you take away like the red latex and like, the whips and all that, I'm just kind of like, I keep to myself. So coming to these events is kind of like going out on a limb a little bit for me, but I'm always happy that I do it, and I always learn things, and I meet, new awesome people like yourself.
Yeah. Well, I'll take the compliment. I think people find it weird. So I'm a comedian, and then I have these moments. I have like when I have to go to these socializing events, I get shy and I'll like hide in the corner a lot, and then I'll just like start to close off and close off and close off and close off.
And you're like looking at your phone.
And I get so far from like.
Same.
Yeah. And it's like, and people are like, I don't understand, like, you're a comedian, like, you're, and it's like, it's way easier.
It's different being on stage. Like, it's not the same.
To talk to a group of people, too, than to talk to one person. I find talking to one person the hardest thing in the world.
Also, when you're on stage, you're performing, and, like, it's not the same as being in a one-on-one conversation with somebody at all. Like, a lot of people, I think, don't realize that about being an entertainer. They're like, oh, well, they're used to being in the public eye. Like, they want attention all the time, right? And it's like, no, actually, like, I found myself like going into bathrooms and hiding when I need to like recharge. If there's too many, sometimes like one of the worst things that I hate about walking into something like this is getting recognized right away.
Right.
Before I've even had time to put my fucking bags down. And I'm just like, dude, can you give me 5 fucking minutes here to like get my shit set up and then talk to me? But no, you don't get that.
I had that exact moment. I was going to a Halloween party with people in my industry, and I put the costume on, and it's like I already felt like I was like I don't even want to go outside and have to like deal with like everything that comes before I get to the party, because like people are gonna ask me, it's like a thing. And so luckily I made it from my house to the train, no interaction. And I sat down on the train.
Lucky.
And then there was this group. That came on, and I could tell they wanted to like interact. And I was like, I'm just not mentally prepared.
Throw those headphones on.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I was like,
that's my secret weapon. I try not to go anywhere without my fucking headphones. It's just like I've got these on, even if they're not on. That means don't talk to me.
Yeah. And then you don't make eye contact. You just try your best to just stay out of it.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. Nothing's worse than like being talked to when you don't want to be talked to.
Exactly, and you're kind of subjecting yourself to that kind of thing a lot here. It's just unavoidable.
Yeah.
So.
Right, and it's nobody's fault. They don't know that you're just
that you really hate people.
Hate everybody. Honestly, I would argue that hating people comes as equally as your ability to love people.
Yeah, I mean, they say love and hate are very similar, right? The opposite of love.
What's the idiom on that one?
So the opposite of love. Here, let me school you. The opposite of love isn't hate. It's indifference.
Indifference.
Yeah. Because
empathy.
if you're indifferent, you don't care about it at all.
Not empathy? What's the word? Apathy.
Apathy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then you really don't give a fuck about it. If you hate something, you're still feeling strongly about it.
Right. Yeah,
you're passionate
that's what
about
they're trying to tell you when people talk shit about you online.
Yeah, exactly.
If they didn't care, they wouldn't say anything.
Right.
Like, I don't know. This guy kind of feels like this guy hates me.
I mean, that's kind of why, like, as I go through life, I find myself caring about less and less.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really engage in bullshit, petty drama anymore. I'm just like,
once you figure out your life, you figure out what you love, and you're happy doing it, everything else kind of becomes easier.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's what you were saying, and I didn't want to interrupt you on that point, but it's this thing about, like, you get to have an outlet for all your things. So then you don't have this other frustration. People that work 9 to 5s, they have all this other frustration because they don't have like an outlet.
Right, and they're about to snap.
An outlet for me, and for you, it's it's all of the things that you're involved in your community, and I can't speak specifically, but but all of all of the outlets that you've given yourself, then make the rest of all the other daunting shit like bearable.
Yep.
But it's like if you hate your job and you hate your girlfriend or your wife or your husband. And it's like there's just so many things that just keep stacking on.
Exactly. And
like
one of these days you're just gonna snap. And I found myself in that position before I got into this sort of industry. I was just like pushing papers, doing a regular sort of administrative desk job.
Yeah.
And it was just every day you wake up really fucking early, and I didn't drive when I lived in Boston because that's just asking for nightmares and money problems and everything. So I took the T system. That's what they call their transit, the T, MBTA. Every fucking day during rush hour, getting crammed in there like a sardine, going to work, getting crammed in like a sardine on your way home. Everyone's angry.
Yeah.
You go home, you're fucking exhausted. You eat dinner. Like, you might do some shit for a couple hours, get late if you're lucky, go to bed, wake up and do it all over again.
Yeah, packed train.
And then you do shit on the weekends when everybody and their fucking mom is out, like, doing shit on the weekends. Like,
packed train will change your vibe in life.
Oh, God, man.
I didn't realize until I started doing like off hours. I only take the train sort of off hours because of my schedule. I'm not going in until people are already back or already in.
It is such a different experience.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
Empty train is my favorite thing.
Oh, yeah. But if you have a regular job, like, forget about that. You're never going to see that. So I just that was my wake up call. I was like, there has to be more than life to this. Like, I'm not fucking doing this anymore.
Yeah.
I'd rather take like fluctuating income and certain like, job insecurities here or there and just work for my fucking self than be stuck behind a desk being somebody else's bitch and having like no control over my life.
Right. Yeah, I think we all crave that control, and I think we are getting better as people in figuring out how to cultivate our own livings, and this industry is like way ahead of the curve.
It's great. There's so much freedom involved in it. I mean, of course, it's really hard work. I think a lot of people look at it and they're like, oh, that's easy, or, oh, all she does is like X, Y, and Z in front of a camera. It's like there's so much more to that. And, similar to being a performer, like you can't just go up there and go on stage. You have to go to these events. You have to show face.
And not even that.
You have to socialize.
And not even that. Like your brain is always like thinking of the next.
Yes, exactly.
Level of the art form. It's like
you're always thinking in the future too.
The people that I meet in this business and the people that I envy in my business in comedy are the people that are like, okay, well, I already did this thing. What's the next thing? Like, what's the next thought? And I'm trying
so
to
you're always kind of thinking a couple steps ahead.
And it's like the people that the first person I ever met in camming was not even in this industry. She was like she was a very G-rated show, and she was just super savvy about like getting viewers, and like she was researching all the time, figuring out how to like do something better, or what camera or what angle or what lighting. And it's like innovation is sort of what keeps us alive in all of this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't do the same thing just like anything else. It's like even doing this, if I was doing the same comedy set every night, that would feel the same as a cubicle job. You got to just innovate.
Yeah, you got to change it up.
Yeah.
You got to keep pushing yourself and experimenting, and
So tell us about this outfit, because we do have some YouTube content. What are we looking at? This is latex. What is this?
Yeah. So this is latex,
Can
otherwise known as rubber. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So now I was over in this section yesterday, and I saw someone oiling their latex.
Yeah.
Is that
so
a thing?
that's to get it to be shiny and also kind of go onto your body easier, because it's really tight. It's like putting a fucking balloon on your body, basically.
Yeah.
This one is loose. Like I really despise the skin tight like cat suit thing, because it's extremely difficult to put on, and then you sweat like a pig in it.
Right.
And it's just, to me, it's very uncomfortable. It's like wearing a very tight fucking rubber glove.
Sure.
Some people love that about it. They can't get enough of the way it feels. Yeah. Me personally, I think latex is kind of uncomfortable to wear. There, I said it. Oh my God. If any latex fetishists are watching this, they're
Hot
like,
take.
wow.
Hot
Because,
take.
if you go to this community, now there's a whole community based around this stuff too. There's events that are based around this type of fashion.
Sure.
Everyone's like peacocking around in their fucking layers and layers of their shit, and like everyone takes it very seriously, and they're very proud of their latex. It's also a status symbol because the stuff is very expensive. This dress costs $300.
That doesn't make sense to me, because we know that latex does
rubber.
not cost a lot of money to produce.
Well, the thing about it is, it has to be handmade. Like these seams right here are glued by hand.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Okay.
And so you do have to know how to fucking cut fabric in the right size and all that.
You know what's funny is I don't think you've sworn the entire episode, and then now that we're talking about fabric, you're like, fucking cut fabric. Like that's the thing that takes you to the swearing peak.
Oh wow, I did good. I made it that whole time without
cursing.
cursing.
About kids, and then you said you can curse. It doesn't matter, but it's like fucking fabric. If you know how to cut fucking fabric, bro, that's just really funny to me. That's the moment. That's the one. That's the line.
I might be just exasperated from wearing it for so long. I've been in it already hours today, and I am sweating a lot. I did my photo shoot in this outfit.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I was like, I'll just keep it on for this fucking thing, because there's no way I'm putting it back on if I take it off.
That's the hardest part. Like, it's like
standing around for hours in these uncomfortable outfits.
Oh no, I was gonna say the other thing is like sometimes you have like a hot outfit and you're like, yo, I gotta wear this all day.
Like this chick right here with the strappy like chain looking stuff. Like, yeah, okay, that feels fine for the first like hour or two, but after that, like she's probably gonna be like, oh, this is really uncomfortable. All these straps everywhere.
But like the other thing, like I was dressed in basically this. If I can help it, I'm wearing jeans and a black V-neck just to make everything easy and consistent, and it's like I used to wear like cool recognizable shirts, but then I could only wear them once, because if I get filmed in it or I get photographed in it, I can't wear it all the time. So I just started wearing nondescript stuff. So last night I got dressed for the Inked Awards, and then it was like 2 hours, and then it was done. It was great, and then it was done after 2 hours, and then I was like, yo, I look fly. I gotta go do something else. I gotta go show people.
Right.
I don't get dressed.
Can't let that outfit go to waste.
I gotta go show this to somebody else.
Gotta get some mileage out of that.
Yeah, like my first instinct was like, oh, I'll just wear it tomorrow. Second instinct was like, no, the 6 people that saw me are gonna see me again. So I gotta go. So then I ran around just to try to get seen in my outfit.
Yep. Get those pictures.
Yeah, but you got photographed in it. So yes, so you're good. So you already accomplished the day.
Exactly, and I got a few some random people came up and took my photo. Cool.
Yeah. Well, good stuff. Okay, so first and foremost, I like to always mention, please pay for your porn. Vote with your dollars. Said Larkin Love. I thought that was pretty smart of her. And it's a good little. That's the new idiom. Vote with your dollars. If you like somebody in porn, if you like somebody in adult, if you like somebody in fetish, make sure you support them because they're not necessarily getting paid just because you found the content.
Exactly. We are all working for ourselves here for the most part. So that means if you like it and want to see more of it,
put your money where your cum is. I guess
exactly.
Is a fun way to say it.
Pay for it, and we'll keep making it. Otherwise, we might not.
So what's the best way for them to find you and pay for your porn?
GoddessLilithVideos.com, and you spell Lilith Lilith. That is the best place to get my self-produced videos. You can also find me on Twitter at GoddessLilith66, on Instagram at GoddessLilithDom. These are not places where you can pay for my porn, but these are places where I post about
her. Pay
new
attention
porn.
to her. Yeah, get
also appearances like this, and I do in-person sessions, BDSM sessions,
and get it into
foot worship sessions,
and get it into the lexicon. So so they can everywhere on along the way they can find you to contact on your site to contact you to be able to work with you and do customs. Yeah.
Yep, that's
Very
right.
cool.
I'm always looking for other industry professionals to trade content with, and I'm always looking for good submissive guys that want to be slaves and offer something to my world.
Fair enough. This is the Porn Stars Are People podcast. We're rebroadcast on Demon Seed Radio every Saturday. We are also on our website, pornstarsarpeople.com. We started a live show, Porn Stars Are Comedians, where I invite various people that have interviewed over the years to come and do comedy. So check out those live shows when you can. We'll have one in ABN. We have one in Exxxotica this round. We drop an episode every Monday. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher app, and we got some fun content today on YouTube. Check us out. Come check out her latex outfit, and please follow and pay for her porn. Thank you guys for listening, and thank you again to my guest.
Thank you.